Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Gamerturk, and today we talk about modern Sonic, or more specifically, the Boost Sonic. Today's episode of my Road to Sonic Forces series is all about me explaining why the Boost formula is not bad by any means and is no more bland than the beloved classic formula, and of course an experiment about how much your average internet viewer can be triggered by mere titles. If you're one of those open-minded people who don't click on videos just to immediately dislike based on how much the title triggers you, I salute you and expect to see your opinions in the comments as well, whether you agree with what I say or not. We are here to discuss after all, not to wage war against different opinions. Anyways, ever since the Boost formula came back a third time in 3D with Sonic Generations, there has been a huge internet bandwagon claiming Boost is the worst thing to happen to Sonic, that it is very bland and that it should be abandoned. Coincidentally, these claims most of the time come from people who either do not like Sonic to begin with, or from people who dislike anything that has ever come out since 1999 in 3D. While those people may never listen to what I have to say, I am talking to you, person who would like to have an open mind to different perspectives. It is one thing to dislike a certain implementation of a concept, but it is an entirely different thing to blindly hate on something. And guess what gets more clicks on the internet that many influencers tend to go with? That was a rhetorical question, but we all know the answer. Anyways, back to my point. Boost formula is not any more bland than classic formula was my initial claim, so let me back that up now. You see, people love having those rose-tinted glasses on when talking about things they like, and admittedly, there is a lot to like about when it comes to classics, but the love for something should not be allowed to turn into blind hate for other things. And let's get things out of the way for those who will get offended when I say this is bland, that is bland, chill the hell out. We are essentially talking about platformers, all of them are bland in terms of gameplay. They might fool you with nice colors and animations or gimmicks, but all you're supposed to do is jump at the right time and dodge at the right time. That is the essence of a platformer. Of course for Sonic it is a little bit different. You see, Sonic is not a true platformer. Well, it is a platformer, and it is the antithesis of a platformer at the same time. Speed and precision are technically counteractive forces in a platformer game. The faster you go, the more careful you have to be, since your movements will lack the needed precision for delicate platforming. Sonic the Hedgehog was never a true platformer that required precision for you to combat the stage design and remain triumphant at the end. Sonic the Hedgehog was essentially an obstacle course that you had to clear based on how fast you could react to the upcoming danger that is closing in at blazing speeds, and to maintain your fluidity throughout the stage. Whether it was Sonic 1 or Sonic Unleashed doesn't really matter. This was the one main principle its gameplay was designed on. People have this huge misconception that the classics were about mastering the stage to achieve speed. Well, there are two things wrong with that. First off, if you play through a game 50 times, every game is about mastering the stage to achieve fast times. And secondly, with the exception of the original Sonic 1 that didn't have a spin dash, achieving speed was never the point of Sonic games. It was achieving fluidity throughout the stage. People claim that the pinball physics made it very intricate, and I'll be very honest with you here. The slopes in any of those games were not built so you could take advantage of them to go fast. They were put there so you would. And there's a big difference there between you could or you would, which makes it no different than the Boost formula in general. Hitting down arrow when approaching a slope is no different than holding that square button for boost. It was a mechanic the devs wanted you to use, and so you did. Just like you use boost when you have the chance. The intricacy of Sonic the Hedgehog was never about achieving that speed, it was maintaining that speed by reacting to the hazards that were challenging your skills. Which is exactly what the Boost formula is about. You have a path you're running, there are hazards coming at you as you move fast, you gotta evade them. There are branching paths, just like classics, There are platforming specific sections that bring you to a halt, just like classics. If you want, you can use physics to take advantage of slopes, as in, the faster you go on an uphill slope and jump, the higher your jump will reach, just like the classics. Your job was to keep your fluidity throughout the stage as much as you can back in the early 90s. Your job is still keeping your fluidity throughout the stage here in 2017. The only difference is how you are given the speed, which was given to you via slopes in the 90s, and now it is given to you by the usage of boost in 2017. The fact of the matter is, when you were achieving speed in either scenario, you weren't some genius taking advantage of something. You were achieving speed that was given to you on a silver plate by the devs themselves. The only part where things get less bland in a Sonic game is when you use your knowledge of physics and take advantage of the geometry and momentum, which again exists just as much in the classics, just as much in adventures, just as much in heroes, just as much in advanced games, in rush games, and all the way here in boost games. They were always in Sonic games. So internet, please stop spreading bullshit about boost gameplay being bland, holding classics to such a higher regard than the boost games. Absolutely nothing has changed. You just don't like the boost formula as a way of gaining speed, and you have to admit it is nothing more than that. And while you're trying to do that, remember this: there is absolutely no shame in not enjoying a certain thing, a certain product, a certain idea, or a certain execution. But when you claim something is objectively so much worse than something else from a conceptual standpoint, while they are essentially completely same, just with a different execution, then I'm sorry, you just come off as an asshole. So before you throw shit at something, hold on a second. Have a deep breath and think for a second. Is it actually any different than that concept you adore? Or is it just you who didn't like the execution, and the thing is, as a concept, still one and the same? Classic Sonic is a green apple, while Boost Sonic is a red apple. You are welcome to like the taste of green apples more than the red apples, but they are both apples. In any scenario, your reward for being skilled is fluidity, not speed. But yeah, that was my rant about people claiming boost gameplay is just bland. As a second episode of my Road to Sonic Forces series, I hope there will be some people who will give the argument a thought and not act like I have talked shit about their religion or something. The like-dislike ratio will tell me, I guess. If you want more in-depth information about how classics actually dealt with speed, unlike the common misinformation that has been floating around ever since, do check the earlier episodes of Sonic Dissected by Roger van der Weide. He does an excellent job at explaining why speed itself was never the focus of classic games. Aside from that, you can follow me on Twitter at Gamerturk95 and on Facebook.com/Gamerturk. You can click on that subscribe button for more content on Sonic, as well as a day one stream on Sonic Forces, and you can also support my channel on patreon.com/Gamerturk directly. Thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you are not triggered by it, and I'll see you guys next time when I talk about the Green Hill Zone and the rehashed content things going around on the internet. See ya!